Hey everybody, yeah, you saw it correctly, we're doing a Kaiju No.8 video today. I know, it's been a pretty long time since I've covered the topic of Kaiju No.8, and to be quite honest, the reason why I stopped covering it was because of all the copyright strikes. When I'm doing the Kaiju Catch Ups, I rely on panels pretty heavily, and when I use panels, I pretty much give them free reign to copyright strike any video that I put up. And you may have noticed My Hero Academia Vigilantes and My Hero Academia chapter reviews have been lacking panels severely, and this is just to avoid the ban hammer that's been coming down on my channel for the past 10 months. So for this one, I really wanted to highlight certain instances in Kaiju No.8 that I originally wasn't able to cover because of copyright. And in addition to that, I really want to try to get new people to start reading Kaiju No.8 because arguably it's one of the best manga to hit shelves in 2020/2021. Because from beginning to end, Kaiju No.8 does not disappoint. It has a lovable main character. It has supporting characters that you're rooting for 100% of the time. Its villains are steeped in mystery, and still till this day, we're trying to figure out who the main antagonist of Kaiju No.8 might possibly be. So look, if you're interested in learning more about Kaiju No.8, join me inside. I think it's time to go grab ourselves a drink. Alright, welcome to the bar, folks. Now, I'm pretty sure that this video kind of speaks for itself, but there is going to be spoilers during this video. If you want to learn the gist about what Kaiju No.8 is about, go ahead and click the card above. That's my video breaking down the first couple of chapters of Kaiju No.8, and if you want, you can check out some of my Kaiju catch-ups that I've done in the past. I'm pretty sure those end around chapter 20-ish, and this video will most likely have spoilers for chapter 47. And if this video manages to get around 300 likes by next week, maybe I'll add Kaiju No.8 to my weekly schedule, and I'll start covering weekly chapters. But like I said, do not expect a lot of panels coming from this particular manga, because when it comes to this manga, they are very protective of it. I think it would be nice for my schedule if I started covering another bi-weekly manga, because next week is Vigilantes, and this week would be Kaiju No.8. Either way, today we're going to be throwing out some theories, and on top of that, we're going to be talking about some of those crucial moments in Kaiju No.8 that I wasn't able to cover because of copyright. Okay, so since my last catch-up, a lot has happened in Kaiju No.8. The biggest one being that Kafka has been officially found out by the Defense Force that he is indeed Kaiju No.8. What leads to him being outed as Kaiju No.8 is a bomb set to explode in Tachikawa Command. And before the bomb descends onto the Defense Force down below, Kafka turns into Kaiju No.8, jumps up, and punches the bomb into the stratosphere. Following this event and the defeat of the Kaiju at Tachikawa Command, the entirety of Division 3 is split up, meaning all of those promising rookies have been split up and sent to different divisions, from Reno to Kikoru. And while it's being decided where all of those rookies will go, on the flip side, we have Kafka being detained by the Director General of the Self-Defense Force. Turns out that Kafka's been marked for execution, but the Director General tends to have other plans for him at the moment. See, the usual procedure for someone that is a kaiju is that they just get, broken down and turned into weapons. Though in the curious case of Kafka, there is no one in the Self-Defense Force that can really recall anything like this incident. There's never been a human kaiju ever in their presence that is so staunchly saying that they are human and not a kaiju. And this is where one of my favorite moments happen, because the Director General really shows his smarts right here. He knows that right now what's going on in this particular time is an unprecedented moment. In all of his time of being a self-defense officer, there has never been a kaiju shifter ever in his presence. So he does something that I really kind of expected him to do: test Kafka. And what happens? He pushes Kafka to the very limits of his kaiju ability, to the point where the kaiju takes control of Kafka. And that was a moment that I did see coming, but seeing it happen, it opened up the world to theories. I mean, one thing that really kind of stuck out in my mind was, are kaiju and the symbiotes from the Marvel universe kind of similar to one another? I'm debating on whether or not to make a theory video about that, but this particular scene right here, when we see Kafka kind of like locked up in an Attack on Titan kind of way inside of the kaiju, it makes me really think that the kaiju kind of encompasses him. And not in an Eddie Brock kind of way, because that type of symbiosis symbiosis is different. That's why they say the word we. I'm talking more of a carnage symbiosis, where the symbiosis is so strong that there's no start of where Kafka ends and begins. Kafka can most likely be separated from the kaiju that's inside of his body, resulting in him becoming powerless, which I guess eventually will act as a storyline in Kaiju No. 8. But the Director General tested our boy, and not only did he pass with flying colors, now he's a part of the first division, which arguably has the strongest exterminator ever in kaiju history on it. And the squad leader Gen is absolutely hilarious. When we first meet him, he's about to come to the rescue of the Director General during the fight with Kafka, but eventually when we meet him, we learn that he's this recluse that loves playing video games. When he's not playing video games and he's out there killing kaiju, he's one of the best people at doing it. And seeing Kafka, Gen, and Kikoru do work on Division 1 has been absolutely amazing for the past couple of chapters. And I'm glad after the fact they really had Kafka hesitant to use his kaiju abilities. Like when he first tries to turn them on, he's kind of scared and has this apprehension, and because he has that apprehension, he's refusing to turn into Kaiju No. 8. But when he lets go of that apprehension and realizes that he has friends that are willing to support him, he's able to transform once again. And after he comes to that realization and turns back into Kaiju No. 8, he realizes that since he lost control of Kaiju No. 8 once before, he feels like he can actually rein it in a little bit better, which is a very unique way of power scaling, because usually in shonen and most anime, you have a character that's just there and needs to train to get stronger to defeat a foe. In Kafka's case, he has to have more control of his sense of self. Kafka has the power of the strongest kaiju ever recorded on record. So when it comes to being the strongest, he's standing on top of that mountain. What has to happen next though is Kafka has to have more faith in himself and understand the type of situations that he's in. Because honestly, it's turning out that the limits of the Kaiju No. 8 power is only limited to your imagination. In the most recent chapter, it's pretty much hammered home that it's only a matter of time before Kafka learns how to fly. And my guess is, that's only the tip of the iceberg. He's gonna start learning how to adapt abilities from kaiju, he might learn how to start absorbing kaiju, and on top of that, he might learn how to control kaiju. The most recent chapter did have Gen and No. 8 beating the shit out of No. 9. Because the type of beating that they're laying down on somebody that we thought was more or less the main antagonist for the first half of this manga, it's pretty bad. So No. 9 really has to pull something out of his sleeve, because right now he's arguably facing off against the two strongest Defense Force officers. What Kaiju No. 9 didn't realize is that this is not the same type of fight that he was in last time. These are not 3 rookies from Division 3. This is the strongest Defense Force operator and Kaiju No. 8. Not to mention, Kikoru is an absolute monster in her own right as well. Either way though, I would give the most pivotal scene in the past couple of months to the fight against the Director General with Kafka. This is your substitute Soul Reaper moment in Bleach, or in Jujutsu Kaisen, it's your stay of execution for Yuji. And some people would say that there has been some death flags woven in his direction, mostly because we know how the Director General's wife died. But for the time being, the Director General still plays a big part in the story. So while there are death flags being woven, I don't think that the Director General's days are numbered quite yet. And for the future chapters, I would like to see what's going on with those 3rd Division rookies. I would like to see if Reno is succeeding without Kafka around. In the very beginnings of Kaiju No. 8, it was brought to our attention that the 2 people that had the capacity to become a captain in the Self-Defense Force was Kikoru and Reno. So I would like to see more of our offshoot rookies and see what they're up to. But that's where I'm going to stop for now. So if you think that there's any moments that I may have overlooked, be sure to put them in the comments down below. And if you have any theories as to what you think might happen in the future of Kaiju No. 8, be sure to let me know down below as well, because I'm at a loss for words when it comes to the type of trajectory and development that Kaiju No. 8 is taking. I love the fact that our protagonist has hit an apex of power, and now he has to learn how to deal with that power and learn how to manipulate it and make it his own. But at the same time, he has to realize that the more he uses his kaiju powers and the more he acts like a kaiju, he may be moving further away from his human self, which is what he desires the most. So be sure to let me know your feelings down below. And if you want to see more Kaiju No. 8 content, don't forget, hit that like button. And until next time, cheers!